Hello once again, it's Matthew from Matthew North Music here. Now, I've not done many videos in the last few weeks. This is because I've had a really busy time, and it's been really good actually because I've been to many concerts that have all been postponed from 2020. If you follow my Facebook page, you'll see I recently went to see Genesis twice, Eric Clapton, Nick Mason's also for The Secrets a couple of times, XTC, Gary Newman and a few other things. So I've been quite busy doing that and photographing when I can. And then also I've done quite a bit of playing with Mike Westbrook. We recently had 2 sold out nights at Ronnie Scott's. And then last week we played the Cheltenham Jazz Festival, which was a really, really great show. So I've not had a lot of time to devote to the channel recently, but I'm hoping to make amends. And today I'm going to talk about this. Now, this pedal is the Boss BE-5, and this came out in the late 80s, and I think these were available up to the early 90s as well. I certainly remember seeing these in the shop when I worked in a guitar shop in 1992. Maybe it was old stock, I'm not sure. But what this is in essence is 4 Boss pedals of the Japanese variety mounted into a box. And this to me defines what a multi-effects unit should be. Because it shouldn't be a computer, it shouldn't be something complicated, it should just be a compact way of putting pedals into a box. Now, if you think back to the late 80s, pedal boards, there weren't many around. We didn't have things like pedal trains. And power supplies were always a nuisance because you quite often had one power supply for each pedal. Multiple power supplies were not really the thing either. So to have one unit that has all the effects you're most likely to need is, it's great. And this is made in Japan, and by virtue of the fact it's made in Japan, it's the same pedals that you would find now on Reverb and eBay at absolutely stupid prices, because you've got an 80s Japanese Boss compressor, you've got a Boss OD2 overdrive distortion, you've got a Boss DD2 digital delay, and you've got a Boss CS2 chorus. That's effectively what is in this box. Now, the one effect it doesn't have is reverb, and there's probably 2 reasons for that. The first reason is digital reverb pedals back then, as they are now, but particularly back then, very, very expensive. Even in like 1992, a Boss digital reverb pedal was well over 100 quid. But most people's amps had spring reverb built in, so if you wanted reverb, you just turn the reverb on your amp. So here you've got everything most guitar players are going to need, certainly for the time. A compressor, distortion, delay, chorus, and it's got a very, very handy little noise gate built into it as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this in, I'm going to give you a little demo of it, and you can hear what it sounds like. For this demonstration, I'm just using my home-built Champ, coming straight out of the amp into a Shure SM57, and then that's going straight into my camera, nothing else. And as ever, for the guitar, I'm using my Reverend Reeves Gabrel's signature model. Just going to take you looking at the back of the pedal unit first. And we've got our input jack here. We've got a tuner output. Back in the day, tuners were not normally built into pedals. In fact, people just used an external tuner, usually one with a meter type affair, and that would be plugged into there. We then have a built-in effects loop, send and return, which again you can use for adding extra pedals. Probably the most useful thing would be some kind of reverb. And then we've got our outputs. Now, I'm going to demo everything using the mono output, but it is actually stereo, and the point it becomes stereo is with the chorus. And I'm pretty sure this is like how the jazz chorus pedals worked, where kind of one output had the chorus on and the other output didn't. It's something like that, but I'm not going to demo that today. If we take a look at this thing then, what we see is what could be 4 individual effects pedals. And in essence, that's exactly what this is. This is a Boss compressor, a Boss OD2 overdrive, a Boss DD2 digital delay, and a Boss CS2 chorus pedal. Okay, that's the clean tone from the guitar, and nothing is switched on yet. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the compressor. So I'm going to stick everything in the center, I think, to start with, and I'm just going to press the button. And you can tell already it's got a really nice lush sound. And if I just roll off some of the pickup, we can get a bit more. And if we give it a bit more sustain, go right up to the top if you like. So yeah, it can carry the note on forever. If we give it a hard attack, and you know, it's got some nice little EQ as well. So I think you'll agree that is a really nice sounding compressor. So I'm going to turn the compressor off now, and we're going to move next door to the overdrive. Now again, with the overdrive, I'm going to set everything straight fat in the middle, and so we're just going to hear it as it is. So I'm going to give it a little bit of treble on the tone control. Now if you want to do something a bit more sort of bluesy, then if you roll the drive back a bit, in fact, if I roll some of the gain off on the guitar as well. And then we've got this colour control, so I'll whack some of that up. And that makes it quite thinner, so we need to really whack the drive up a bit. And then we've got a much more. That's really sounding nice. I'm going to whack that up full. I'm going to whack the drive right up. So this is kind of our sort of full. So yeah, nice fat sound there. If we turn it the other way. Again, that will probably suit having less drive. I'll stick tone back in the middle and whack the level up just a little bit. That's more your sort of Clapton, classic 60s Clapton sound there. I mean, for me, I'll whack that in the middle. I'll have the drive roughly about there, a little bit of tone, and so for me, that overdrive pedal will give me pretty much every sound that I would actually want to use. I'm going to move on now to the digital delay, which is next door to that. Now, the digital delay is fairly typical of any Boss digital delay. This is probably the slowest delay we get. And then we can sort of speed it right up to get our, our sort of. So, it's what it is. It's a Boss digital delay. So that's the digital delay. I'm going to skip the noise suppressor for a second, and we're just going to swap the camera around and we can look at the chorus. Again, I'm going to stick everything bang in the middle, and here's some chorus. Absolutely beautiful, lush sound. If I turn the rate down a bit. Really, really great sounding chorus pedal. Anyway, what does this pedal sound like with everything together? Right, what I've got here now is some overdrive and compressor. And if I'm not playing, you can hear there's, a fair bit of noise in the background. Now, if I whack in the noise suppressor, it goes. But if I give it full welly, it goes straight away. So it's probably too much. You probably want it about there. Then we can whack some digital delay in with that. And then when it stops, there's no noise at all. Obviously, you lose a little bit tonally by having a noise gate in the system, but when you're playing live, you're really not going to notice that. So as you can see, we've got all 4 effects on now, and I think this is a cracking sound that you get out of it. Just taken down some of the compression and the noise gate. I'll turn the noise gate right down. And actually it's pretty clean now. If I take the chorus off, And now we'll just get rid of the distortion, so we've just got compressor and delay. Maybe I'll stick a little bit of EQ onto the compressor. Now I'll pop the chorus on. I'm just winding back on the pickup now just to give it a bit more of a Strat sound. So yeah, I just can't fault this pedal at all. I think it just sounds great. I'm just going to use compressor and chorus to give it a bit of a funky sound. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about subscribing to the channel, and if you've got one of these units or you like the idea of these units and you want to know more about them, then drop us a comment on the video and let me know what you think. I think myself these are great units. The switches themselves are a little bit delicate, so they're not going to take lots of jumping around on stage, but if you're careful, I mean this thing's over 30 years old, then you could have really good quality guitar effects for not a lot of money, because these things you can pick them up for £100 and sometimes less, and you're not going to find even one 80s Boss pedal for that sort of money now, because they go for absolutely silly money. So if you want to get great Boss effects pedals from the 80s in one unit for not a lot of money, then the Boss BE-5 is certainly the way to go. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.